Bulldogs versus your Alma College Scots. The Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association promotes good sportsmanship and respect for student athletes, coaches, officials, and fans. Please join Alma College in providing a positive environment for tonight's competitors by refraining from making disparaging, racist, sexist, or other derogatory comments during your time in Art Smith Arena. The NCAA encourages all of today's participants, both in competition and in the stands, to be loud, be proud, and especially be positive. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starters for tonight's NCAA basketball game. For the Bulldogs, a 6'1" guard from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 1, Jordan Harris. For your Scots, he's a 6'4" forward from Sanford, Michigan, number 32, Gavin Schneider. For the Dogs, a 6'5" forward from Michigan, number 13, Justin Webster. For the Scots, a 6'3" forward from Ada, Michigan, number 23, Rob Holmes. For the Bulldogs, a 6'5" center from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 35, Jeremy Kalani. For the Scots, he's a 6'6" center from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, number 34, For the Bulldogs, a 5'11" guard from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 2, Sam Colby. For the Scots, a 6'2" guard from Portland, Michigan, number 12, Ryan Stevens. For the Dogs, a 6'4" guard from Lafayette, Indiana, number 4, Rayshon Hurd. And for the Scots, a 5'9" guard from Green Heights, number 1,
Saturday Night Basketball live here from the Art Smith Arena, live on YouTube via AlmaScots.com. Alma and Adrian, the Scots take on the league-leading Adrian Bulldogs in a game that is going to have major implications on the MIAA standings. A major jumble today with the results earlier this afternoon. Hope holds on after coming from behind against Olivet with an 87-84 victory. Albion defeats Calvin, and Trine takes care of Kalamazoo. That has created a situation that an Alma win tonight, which would drop Adrian to 4-2 in the conference standings, would create a four-way tie for first at 4-2, with Alma one game behind at 3-3. If Adrian wins tonight, they will retain crucial one-game advantage over those three other teams. Alma would remain then tied for 5th, but 2 games out of that crucial 4th place spot to get into the MIAA tournament. Alma has gotten the offense clicking in the last couple of games, 88 points in back-to-back games, but both of them losses. A 1-point loss here last Saturday, and then a 99-88 decision against Hope on Wednesday night, where former Scot Jason Beckman scored 41 points for the Dutchman. Adrian controls the opening tap. It's a lot of new faces for the Bulldogs this year. Justin Webster, number 13, you will recognize he is the only returning person from last season, but a miss. And out come Kevin Scheibert and the Scots. Scheibert, 20 points back on Tuesday night, a new career high. Rob Holmes had a career high 17. Those two have been red hot as of late on the offensive end. Holmes setting back-to-back career highs after scoring 15 back last Saturday against Olivet. It's those two along with Kevin Gamble, Luke Lamoureux, and Stephen Harvey in the starting lineup for the Scots. Harvey comes in, or sorry, not Harvey, Ryan Stevens. We'll see Stephen Harvey in a matter of minutes. Harvey made the game-winning free throws on the road at Adrian last year. This is Lamoureux with 2 on the shot clock. Scheibert just gets the try off, long on that, and it will be a shot clock violation as that shot did not draw rim. So Adrian will get it back in this tie ball game, less than a minute into it. Stevens is the one who has 94 assists on the season, just under 6 per game, second in the MIAA, but a chance to go over that 100 assist mark. And we'll keep an eye on that as best as we can via the live stats. Those are unofficial updates and things when it comes to things like assists, but we'll do the best we can to keep you posted on that status. 3-point try from Sam Colbert from the corner. Adrian is the leading 3-point shooting team in the MIAA at 38%, but Colbert unable to connect on that one. Here's Scheibert on a dish from Lamoureux. Lamoureux 8th in the league in assists, and he sets up Scheibert for the first 2 of the game. Lots of new faces, 4 starters from the state of Indiana on this Adrian team. 2 freshmen, 2 transfers, and then Webster, the hometown hero, out of Adrian Madison High School. The big man down low who averages 20 a game, and the Scots set up a trap right over in front of their bench, and Jordan Harris, unable to hold on to it under the pressure, travels, and Alma will get this one. 18-11 to play first half, 2-0 Alma in the early going. Stevens against Harris. And now to Lamoureux, who had the early assist. Cross court and a whistle underneath, offensive foul on the moving screen on Holmes. And we'll head the other way. Don't expect a whole lot of substitutions from Adrian. They have a rotation of primarily 7 players that will see most of the action. It's not at all uncommon to see them with single-digit bench points over the course of a game. Played only 7 in a tight loss against Olivet on Wednesday. That was their first loss in conference play, 65-62. Adrian leads the league in defense, only averaging 73 points a game themselves, but holding opponents under 66. Bird goes inside, now outside to Webster, drives, pumps, tries to go to the left hand, gets it around Gamble, but the shot spins out. Webster, about a 9-point per game pickup from 11 points per game last year to over 20. And there's Lamoureux with a triple. A great start to the game for Luke Lamoureux, the sophomore out of Sterling Heights. And Alma with a 5-0 early advantage. From the corner, this is Jeremy Kalanji, and he traveled. Kalanji, a transfer from St. Francis out of Fort Wayne originally. He is the second leading scorer for this Bulldogs squad. Gamble, who's back in the starting lineup, looks back door to try to find Scheibert, and Scheibert wasn't looking for it. A little miscommunication there leads to another Alma turnover. One thing Adrian does very well is take care of the basketball, averaging under 12 turnovers per game. Alma averages about 15. Lob underneath for Webster. Holmes contests the catch and knocks it away. Webster kind of got trapped underneath the basket. Stevens goes underneath to Holmes, double teamed. He'll kick it out to Lamoureux. Scots cycle the ball quickly with 13 on the shot clock. Stevens will set back up again, big screen from Gamble. Now Holmes jumper just inside the three-point line, and Rob Holmes, who continues to pick up the scoring numbers. Remember, missed last season due to an injury. Rockford High School product. Continuing to step it up, averaging 16 a game in his last two. Adrian still on the schneid, trailing 7-0. As Alma looks to further clog the logjam in the MIAA standings. There's Sam Colbert for the first triple of the night. He is the three-point bomber for this Adrian squad, 43% from outside, and 34 threes on the year coming into tonight. And makes it 7-3. Holmes wants another, and he connects from outside the stripe this time. 5 early points for Rob Holmes. 10-3 Alma as Holmes answers the early Colbert triple. Rayshawn Hurd now down underneath Kalanji. Blocked from behind. What a job by Gamble to get that cleanly. Scheibert directs the ball over to Gamble, who then gets it inside to Scheibert. He was looking for it this time. They misfired a couple minutes ago, but not on that one. Scheibert with 4, and it is 12-3. Alma so many times at home this year has struggled and fallen to early deficits. The same thing that happened on the road against Hope. But tonight, the quick start out to a 9-point lead. Kalanji from the corner, long on that. Holmes the board. Stevens goes between the legs. They've gotten a switch to get Stevens onto Webster. That's a mismatch that Adrian doesn't want. And it means there's a mismatch somewhere else as well, and that's Harris against Gamble, but Gamble airmails the pass. Alma will sub in 3 fresh faces. Arthel Rosquest, along with Bradfield and Jason Meyerly. Bradfield still trying to find that range from outside, but connected on his lone 3-point attempt on Wednesday. We'll see whether he can keep that going. He's the leading shot blocker in the MIAA. Kalanji, who has the ball right now against Bradfield, right up there at well over a block per game. Webster blocked by Bradfield. Scheibert will run the floor, stripped by Harris. Scramble for it, and Kalanji gets it out. Good hands there from the freshman Jordan Harris from Indianapolis. Webster from the foul line will drive in strong against Bradfield, can't get it to fall. Adrian still stuck on just the Sam Colbert three-pointer, 12-3 Alma, with 13:44 to play first half. Rosquist to the baseline, slings it out. And now to Marley. Marley shooting over 40% from three-point range. 9 on the shot clock. Marley will try, that's left, and left by a lot. Rebounded underneath by Keon Rainey, who was the first substitution in the game. Rainey, a sophomore, another one of the few holdovers from last year's Adrian squad that went 1-13 in MIAA play. This year's team now out to the conference lead at 4-1. And underneath a turnover. And we'll see a little deeper onto the bench already goes Adrian as Cass Oganowski will check in along with Jared Sloop. Neither of these are guys that frequently see the floor for Coach Kyle Lindsay. Look at some of these bench point numbers for Adrian on the year. 9 points from the entire bench against Albion, 2 against Calvin, 4 in a game against Earlham, 5 against Capital in a win. Came on a last-second 3 by Harris. So normally it is the starters who do the scoring damage, but Adrian trying something a little different with the early deficit at 12-3. Foul on Kalanji on a reach. First foul on Adrian. It's been a quick start to this one. Not a lot of whistles. And already under 13 minutes to play with a 12-3 Alma advantage. Bradfield at 6'7", handles the ball well, gets it inside, and Rosquist finishes it off. Rosquist, the senior transfer, making the most of what will be a one-year stay here in Alma. Kalanji pivoting at the elbow, finds a little drop-off inside to Sloop. And now out back around the perimeter. 3-point try from Hurd with 9. Trayshawn Hurd, transfer from Ancilla Junior College. He is a tremendous rebounder for a 6-foot guard, averaging almost 6 rebounds per game. He's crossed into double digits, in fact, over the course of the year, but does it with the shot that time. Alma on the perimeter, leading 14-6. Rosquist going to try it again. Did he travel, or was he fouled on the floor? Okay, reach-in call. Sloop called for the foul. Here comes Stephen Harvey in for his first action. Harvey, the second leading three-point shooter in the MIAA, but kind of trying to recapture the magic after a couple of slow games recently. Had a stretch of 6 games where he went 15 of 28 from outside, and now a foul on Alma underneath. This will be Bradfield. Harvey, as I said, was the hero in the first of 2 Scots wins in these matchups last year, making a couple of late free throws at Adrian. Alma came from a double-digit second-half deficit in that one. Led in the first half of the game here, and then fell behind by 8 before rallying. Trevor Gernot, some late free throws to ice that one after that game was tied 70-70, eventually a 74-70 Alma win. Alma leads 14-6 now, and a flying Amari Hudson into the frame and called for a foul. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon there. Hudson continuing to get good minutes after kind of joining the offensive rotation midway through the season as Sam Hargraves tried to go a little smaller with the lineup. Hudson coming off 5 points against Hope on Wednesday and 11 minutes worth of action. 8-point Alma edge. They've led by as many as 9. Deep 3 again from Hurd, and he's accounted for 6 of the 9 points as he's got 2 deep connections. And Adrian back within 5 at 14-9. Lamoureux lobs it inside. Great play by Sloop, giving up a number of inches to Bradfield. Sloop at 6'2", Bradfield 6'7", and Sloop fronts him and knocks that pass away. Layup try at the other end, no good. Put back Hurd, and I tell you what, Trayshawn Hurd is single-handedly willing Adrian right back into this ball game. Bulldogs back within 3 at 14-11. Harvey to Scheibert for the Scots. Lamoureux takes a look at the bucket. And Alma will rotate it over into the near corner. Inside, Bradfield, nice take off the dribble by the junior from Mason. He's got his first 2 of the night. Bradfield, for a tall guy, doesn't operate down under the basket a whole lot offensively. But if Alma could add that to his game a little bit more in addition to the perimeter shooting threat, it would be a nightmare for a defense to defend. Hurd well off on that 3-point try. And Alma will again push the tempo. Sloop trailing, Alma has numbers, and Harvey will try to convert on that with a 3. Almost got the bounce. Alma will still like that shot as Sloop was out of the action. And now a foul. Scheibert shakes his head in disbelief, but that one was pretty obvious coming over the top. Three starters back into the action for Adrian. Colbert, Harris, and Webster all return. They'll join Rainey and Oganowski. So Kalanji and Hurd get their first rest. A little surprised that Kyle Lindsay would pull Hurd off the floor with his 8-point outing so far. 16-11 as Colbert stops at the foul line. Kick out, Colbert wants the 3. That's his shot. Made the first one. And this one no good. Scheibert kind of caught Lamoureux not looking for that pass. Lamoureux lucky not to travel with it. Under 10 minutes to play first half. Scheibert through traffic, traveled with it in the face of the bracketing defense. Nice work by Colbert. Colbert and Harris, both freshmen from Indianapolis, on this team that Coach Kyle Lindsay has kind of rebuilt this year. Coach Lindsay, an Adrian alum, was actually an all-conference MIAA player, but not in basketball, as a punter on the football team, but came back, took over the reins of the program right before the first day of classes last year, so he didn't really have a chance to recruit last year. This is the first time he's been able to build the team, And you see the difference from 7-18 last year to a 13-3 start. Harris off balance try, spins out to the left. Scheibert will bring it back as the Scots continue to lead by 5. Alma's biggest lead was 9 at 12-3. Bradfield will drive baseline, kick it back out. Lamoureux extra pass, Gamble for 3, boom! 6'8", but Kevin Gamble not afraid to fire from the perimeter. Hit multiple threes in the first half against Ohio Northern. Pardon me, that's the wrong opponent. I'll double check that, but game here after the Ohio Northern game. Miss from Oganowski, and now Lamoureux wants to run, gets it over to Bradfield. Lost that in a blocking foul. That's a tough one because Bradfield kind of got Oganowski with the elbow while he was trying to get the ball under control. Non-shooting situation. Only the third Adrian team foul. Was the game against Wash U, where Gamble was so good in the first half. 4 of 5 3-pointers in the first half against the top 10 ranked Wash U team. And inside Scheibert, count that one and the foul. The development of Kevin Scheibert as an offensive threat is one of the most overlooked stories of this season so far. But his recent performances just continue to impress. 18 points, 8 boards against Olivet last Saturday, 20 points, 9 boards against Hope on Wednesday, and he's got 7 so far tonight. .8:13 to play first half. Alma with the 22-11 lead. Oganowski now to Rainey. Sam Hargraves wants that zone wide, get the arms out, and an offensive foul. And that one's on Webster, which will be his first. Two on Oganowski, 1 on Webster, and then Sloop and Kalanji as well. Hurd leads all scorers for Adrian with 8. Scheibert right behind for Alma with 7, 22-11. That's really outside of Trayshawn Hurd. Adrian has not been able to figure out how to get the offense rolling. Lamoureux, quick burst out of the corner, right back out. Stevens will try the 3. Long rebound, and Scheibert, who's right among the MIAA leaders in boards at 6.3, snags one. He'll drive himself, go to the left hand, cannot redirect the ball to counteract his own momentum though. And Adrian will come back with it. Kyle Lindsay will get the other 2 starters back in at the next whistle, but Webster misses. Webster has not gotten himself to the foul line in the first 12 minutes of action. He is second in the NCAA, not just the MIAA, the NCAA in free throw attempts on the season. Has not gotten there at all tonight. 150 free throws attempted coming in, 106 of them made, which is 4th in the country. Harris and Scheibert altered that. He wanted the 3. Scheibert was going to swat it away, and he turns it into a turnover instead. Lamoureux for 3. In and out collision underneath. This is going to be Holmes. It is, and that'll be Rob Holmes' second foul. Chorus of boos from the Alma student section, but things going very well for the Scots on the glass so far tonight. 13-7 rebounding edge, and that was a big story in Adrian's loss on Wednesday. They got clobbered on the glass, 44-29 by Olivet. And even though Adrian is a positive rebounding margin team on the season, they're -3 once getting into MIAA play. Alma the exact opposite, still negative on the season, but about +2.5 rebounds in the conference. So once you account for the brutal Scots non-conference schedule, they're really doing their good work on the glass. And they're going to call an out-of-bounds play on Webster, who thought he got pushed, and it looked like Gamble might have given him a little extra assistance onto the baseline there, but another turnover. And that is now 8 turnovers for an Adrian team that only averages 11.6 per game. 6:22 to play first half, 22-11 Alma. Lamoureux sprints in, tries to drop it off, cannot get the pass through, and now a quick outlet. Colbert will run it down, pass across. Sloop tries to go with the reverse, Just a little too fast. Adrian couldn't get it under control. Speaking of too fast, same thing at the other end. Rosquist will come back in for the Scots with 2 points so far. Alma shooting 9 of 16 from the floor. Adrian only 4 of 18. So even though Adrian leads the team leads the league in field goal percentage at about 47%, it's the Scots dominating that category as well tonight, and there's going to be an offensive foul. Rosquist allows himself to go flying, and the arm extended draws the call against Hurd. Player control foul, so not shots. Brett Knight out with the rag. Here comes the mop. (22-11), and we've been stuck on 22-11 for a while. Nonetheless, Adrian, only 2 players in the scorebook, and 8 of the 11 points coming from Trayshawn Hurd. Sam Colbert made their opening 3 after Alma started on a 7-0 run. Other than that, the Bulldogs just finding the proverbial lid on the basket. One dribble from Kevin Scheibert all the way cross court to Marley. Tries to dish it to Stevens, who went the other direction. And Alma contributing its fair share of turnovers as well. That's number 10 from the Scots in the first half. That's certainly something that Sam Hargraves will not be particularly pleased about. Around the perimeter go the Bulldogs. Kalanji will get it inside to Webster, still looking for his first points of the night, and still looking. He's again cannot find the bottom of the bucket. 6'5" hometown hero has had a phenomenal season, as many as 32 points in a game at one point along the way, and Stevens will take him off the dribble though. Scott's doing a good job of getting uncomfortable defensive switches out of Adrian. And they don't want Justin Webster having to deal with with Ryan Stevens off the dribble, and there's Webster's first bucket of the game. 24-13 as both teams finally get some points again on the scoreboard. Marley to Scheibert. Now Stevens all the way cross court. Marley will immediately trigger the 3. Had a good look at that one. Rebound knocked up and did not hit anything. So the ball would have been in play, but then it lands on the baseline. And this will be Adrian ball. Mentioned Adrian coach Lindsay's background as an MIAA punter at Adrian. Came to the Bulldogs most recently from an assistant position at Trine. Trine, one of those teams at 4-2 in league play after a win today. Adrian needs a victory to maintain sole possession of first, otherwise they'll fall into a 4-way tie. Webster fighting hard underneath, and another ball that just won't go. Webster now 1 of 7 from the floor in this first half. And Colbert nearly saves that after knocking it away from Rosquist. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the first half. It's been a quick one. Whistles have picked up a little bit from the early going, but the first 7 minutes of game action took about 10 minutes of actual time. Rosquist wanted the cross-court skip pass. Alma's got Harvey in the corner set up. Rainey picks up the defense, so they'll go inside, get a one-on-one matchup with Bradfield, and he draws the foul. Alma to the foul line, which is one area where they've struggled this year. If you look at the statistical comparison between last season to this, there are 2 glaring differences. Alma about a 6% fall off in three-point shooting and about 6% down in free throw shooting. But Bradfield makes that. Alma now 2 of 2 from the line on the night, and a 27-13 early advantage. Rainey, the sophomore out of Detroit, will bring it up. He averages about 18 minutes a game off the bench. As we said, not a real deep rotation usually, although Adrian has gone deeper than normal. And Kalanji now makes his first strike with a long 2. 27-15. Marley wanted a screen, nobody came and helped. Rosquist against Oganowski, senses the screen coming, tries to fight through it, ends up with a switch onto Bradfield. If Alma could get him the ball, 7 on the shot clock. Ball now loose, Harvey back to Scheibert, but stolen by Rainey. 3-on-2 if Adrian hurries. Rainey all the way left hand, gets the foul call. But Alma will be perfectly pleased with the defense from Stephen Harvey on that one, making it almost impossible for Keon Rainey to convert. Rainey had 15 on this floor last year, but has seen his minutes go down this season. He was an 8.5 point per game guy last season, just a little over 2 points per game, though over 3 rebounds this year. 67% free throw shooter, but that one no good. He missed the Bulldogs' first 9 games, but as we said, has averaged about 17 minutes off the bench since his return. No rebounders down there, so a little extra pressure, but no problem on the second one. Rainey splits the pair. The lead for Alma is 11. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Alma trying to carry this double-digit advantage into the locker room. Scheibert inside, stolen away, and Adrian forces another turnover. This Adrian team is known for its defense, giving up only 65 per game. Marley tried to sell the charge, didn't get the call, but Scheibert gets the rebound. But 12 forced turnovers by Adrian. Alma could be ahead by far more if they'd taken care of the basketball a little bit better. 3-point try, Scheibert cans it. Double digits for Kevin Scheibert in the first half. It's 30-16. Hurd wants Oganowski to move out, so he goes the other direction when it doesn't happen. Now Hurd will try to take it off the dribble. Bradfield steps up. Kalanji open for 3, and he hits that same shot. Alma lost track of Kalanji. Adrian has tried that spot with a couple of different people, and Kalanji is the one who makes it. 30-19 now after the triple, 5 for Kalanji. Webster in the face of Stevens, now left side, Scheibert in and out on a 3-point try. And Webster will grab the rebound. Minute and a half till halftime, Alma up 30-19. Adrian trying to get it back to single digits, and Kalanji will do just that. A quick 7-point outburst from Jeremy Kalanji. So first it was Trayshawn Hurd. Cut away an early Alma lead. Alma pushed it back out. Kalanji now the one cutting it down. And Alma wants a timeout. Stevens just called for it right there on the floor. And might as well. That's the first timeout called on the game. 1:11 to play. 30-21 Alma. These are two schools that are pretty similar in terms of enrollments and background. Alma, of course, the Presbyterian affiliation, about 1,400 students. Adrian, 1,600 students, and a Methodist affiliation. Down kind of in a triangle area between Ann Arbor and Jackson, just south of both of those, equidistant to both. Adrian with all kinds of athletic programs. They have a club baseball team in addition to their regular baseball team. 4 levels of men's hockey, including various club level teams, 3 levels of women's hockey, an equestrian team, figure skating, and my personal favorite, a nationally ranked fishing team. Down at Adrian, they've had 4 All-Americans ranked number 5 in the country, 32 kids at Adrian College on the fishing team. Just over a minute to play in the half as Alma comes out of the timeout leading by 9. Bradfield, he'll try from outside, and there it goes. Doug Bradfield, maybe his best half of the year. 3 for 3 from the floor and 1 at the foul line. And he's got 8, Alma back to a 12-point edge. Kalanji didn't want it along the baseline, kicks it out to Oganowski, and he had his heel on the sideline. I don't know if that'll have been visible with the students standing right over there, kind of blocking the view of the camera. But the heel just out of bounds. And Alma now with 52 seconds on the clock has a chance to try to go 2 for 1 in possessions. if they can get something off here before the game clock goes under 30. That's just what Marley wants to do, but he does not get the make. Now 40 seconds left on the clock for Adrian. Kalanji from the corner again and connects again. Jeremy Kalanji, 2 triples, a toe on the line, 2, and back to 9, and now Alma, with virtually no difference between the shot clock and game clock, can probably play for 1 if they want to. 17 seconds. And Stevens looking right at that clock, trying to decide how much time he wants to use before he puts the play into motion. Steps to his right, swings it over to Marley with 5. Elevates, now over to Lamoureux with 2, off balance 3, and no such luck. Alma didn't really get the look that they wanted. Adrian defended well, but all in all, a first half the Scots will be pleased with. They lead 33-24 at the break. We will pause here on elmascots.com, continue to show you the halftime action with the dance team performing, and then come back with the second half action as Alma will try to knock off the league leaders. They've got a 9-point edge at the break. As we head to pause, Alma 33, Adrian 24. 33-24, Alma on top at the half of the 13-3 Adrian Bulldogs. Adrian 4-1, leaders of the MIAA conference. Alma 2-3 in the conference, looking for that third conference win, 5-11 overall, but trying to spring the upset and get a win here on their home floor, which have been hard to come by this season. But Alma really playing well in that first half, led by as many as 14. It was a good last couple of minutes to the half for Adrian, thanks primarily to Jeremy Kalanji, who finishes 4 of 7 from the floor with 10 points to lead the way for the Bulldogs. Trayshawn Hurd kept them in the game early with a quick 8, but this game got wedged on 22-11 for about a 4 or 5 minute stretch, and Adrian just could not get the offense rolling. Things got going a little bit better though, and they've whittled it down to single digits. Take a look at some of those first half statistics. Alma doing it well on the floor, 13 of 24, helped greatly by the 3-for-3 performance from Doug Bradfield. He had 8 in the first half, Kevin Scheibert had 10. Turnovers a problem really for both teams. Alma coughs it up 12 times, Adrian 9, both of those well over their season averages. Alma did have 10 assists, Adrian 5. That's not uncommon either. Adrian only averages about 11.5 assists per game. Just the way that their offense runs doesn't distribute the ball quite like that. Alma will be very pleased with their defensive effort against Justin Webster, the MIAA's 4th leading scorer, averaging over 20 a game, held in this first half to just 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting and did not get himself to the foul line at all. He's 106 for 150 at the line on the season, which was second in the country in terms of free throw attempts, but gets 0 in the first half. He's a 2-time MIAA Player of the Week. He had 29 against Wisconsin Whitewater when Adrian got their signature win back in December. Whitewater ranked number 3 in the country at the time. They are now ranked number 2 in the country, but Adrian really took it to them in that game. But they will need a similar rally. Adrian, of course, took their first conference loss of the season on Wednesday, 65-62 against Olivet. It snapped a 10-game win streak, which was their longest since opening the 2012 and 13 season at 11-0. But in danger of dropping a second one at the same time, Alma's got to avoid the letdown that plagued them last Saturday. They were in control against Olivet much of the way before Tracy Edmond and Jalen Adams, the superstar duo for the Comets, really took over in the closing minutes. Of course, it was Edmonds' layup with 4 seconds to go that ended up winning that one. But Alma, an energetic first half, a great defensive effort. You just need to keep that going to try to put a victory in the books. As we said, the logjam has been created by today's results in the MIAA. Adrian 4-1 coming into this one, but then 3 teams behind them at 4-2, so the potential for a 4-way tie across the conference standings. Lamoureux starts for the Scots, back out to Stevens. Stevens back to Lamoureux. As things get underway, deliberate opening possession. Shot clock down to 8. Scheibert finds Holmes. He had a quick start before picking up 2 fouls, but misfires on his first try. 5 first half points for Rob Holmes. Jordan Harris off to Sam Colbert, who made the opening basket of the game for Adrian. Sling it back around. Webster is the lone returner in terms of those contributing crucial minutes for Adrian. Keon Rainey has seen his time increase after missing the first 9 games of the season, but otherwise it's all new faces of these starting 5, 2 transfers and 2 freshmen. That's one of the transfers, and that's Hurd again, up to 11 points to lead everyone, and just like that, Alma's lead is 6. Scheibert calls for a screen, gets no response. So he'll dribble out, leave it to Lamoureux. Webster has found himself defending on the perimeter a lot tonight. He was out there on Lamoureux that time. Scheibert off the dribble, but no good, and Webster the rebound. Rebound 17-12 in favor of the Scots at the moment. Webster goes cross court. Colbert has to keep it in bounds. But Adrian a chance to close down even more. Drawing the contact is Webster, a no-call play on. But Webster, his second field goal of the game. And the lead for Alma is 4. 5-0 run for Adrian to start the second half, 2 minutes in here. Scheibert, might have moved the feet early there, but no call. Lamoureux open 3 from the corner, and he connects. A pair of triples on the night for the sophomore Lamoureux. Right around his season scoring average already. And Alma back up by 7. Inside, Kalanji tries to fake gamble into the air and does it to perfection. Draws the foul, makes the bucket nonetheless. And Jeremy Kalanji to the line. Olivet, a solid free throw shooting team, just under 70% on the year. Kalanji exactly 70% at 42 of 60 coming in. Looking for the three-point play and gets it. And we're back down to 4 again. 36-32, Alma led 33-24 at halftime. Looking like this one's going to be a full 40-minute battle. Stevens dribbles out of the corner, elevates, no good. Remember last year on this floor, Alma led at the half, and Adrian came out very quickly in the second half, eventually taking an 8-point lead before Alma fought back to get the win, 74-70. Ball knocked into the backcourt. Remember, no longer matters who last touches the ball before it goes into the backcourt. If it's deflected by the defense, unless there's new offensive possession, either team can run that down in the backcourt. Traveling call gives this back to Alma. Doing research on Adrian's sports info site, they had links to some great NCAA officiating videos that are really helpful in explaining calls that maybe fans misunderstand, including that change to the backcourt rule, which is brand new in the NCAA. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. Scheibert quick drive and tied up and foul. And a couple push-ups, because why not? Kalanji will be whistled for the infraction, his second. Scheibert to the line after 10 points in the first half. Already, oh no, they're going to call non-shooting, and that was the problem. Is Scheibert kind of got so hog-tied that he didn't get a shot attempt up, so I understand why he was not given shots. I'm sure a shot was eventually coming, but the foul first. But Alma will not be phased as they'll go inside to Stevens. His second bucket of the game puts Alma's lead back to 6. Kalanji going to try to take Bradfield off the dribble. I think Bradfield got a piece of that. That might be block number 2 for Doug on the game. And now Holmes to the other end, high off the window and good. Alma battles back to stretch the lead, back out to 8. Adrian got it down to 4. Webster briefly double teamed at the top of this Scott's 2-3 zone. And there's Colbert, his second long-range connection of the night. 43% three-point shooter, but now reaches in and called for a foul. Colbert is prone to do that. That is the one thing that I think Adrian would like to see him improve. He's had 4 fouls in games 5 different times and then fouled out against Olivet on Wednesday. But that's his first foul here today. And actually they're going to call that, pardon me, they called that on Harris, not on Colbert. So adjust that on the scoreboard. So no fouls for Colbert, doing exactly what coaching staff is looking for. 40-35. Adrian back within 5, and now Webster, did he walk? He did. Too many pumps. That worked beautifully for Kalanji moments ago, getting the foul call on Gamble. But this time Bradfield wins the battle as Webster travels with it. 15:25 left in the second half, 40-35. Alma with the small lead. It was as many as 14. And look at Holmes cut down the lane for the dish from Stevens. Stevens with 5 assists now, I believe. That's unofficial. But likely one away from his 100th on the game or on the season. Meanwhile, Hurd again, 14 now for Trayshawn Hurd. I do believe that put Ryan Stevens on 100 watch. One more assist should be his 100th of the year. Holmes to Scheibert. Nice move up over the top, but Kalanji gets a piece. Scheibert stays right with it though, and it all goes for naught on the Kalonji block. Scheibert the putback, Alma back by 6, 44-38, Scheibert with 12. Nice feed underneath to Kalonji and almost a block. Bradfield thought he had one there, but all he gets to show for it is a whistle. A slight difference of opinion from the Scott student section on that one. And Holmes and Stevens going to try to advocate for Bradfield with a similar lack of success. Kalonji to the line with a chorus of boos coming from everywhere. 14 for him, 14 for Hurd. And Adrian trails by 5. Kalonji had 21 on Wednesday against Olivet. Biggest game of the season was 25 against Trine. And he makes both to slice the advantage to 4. Harris right back in there. So it'll be Harris, Hurd, Webster, Colbert, and Rainey, the sophomore, for Adrian, who trails by 4. Bradfield on the wing with 10 on the shot clock. Inside Stevens, who's comfortable in there. Very good rebounder for a guard, just like Hurd is, but unsuccessful on that try. Back comes Adrian. Patient possession so far. Rainey has to retreat as the Scots zone moves out. They enter it to Webster just inside the foul line, and a lefty hook off the window. That one's going to be awfully tough to defend. And Webster starting to heat up a little bit. Adrian as close as they have been since this game started, essentially. Alma jumped to a 7-0 lead, but the 2-point lead goes right back to 4 as Scheibert hits his second bucket of the second half. Lamoureux opened the game with a 3 for Alma, so other than 0-0, 2 points was the closest that Adrian had been, but now back to 4. Webster stays with it, almost got landed on by Bradfield. No call on that, and then Webster allowed a clean finish. Scheibert will try at the other end, this one no good, and Webster the rebound. Webster has really stepped things up here coming out of the break. 5 rebounds now. Adrian within 2, looking for the tie, and Harris will be fouled, and they'll get to try for it at the line. Harris gingerly gets up after a hard landing. Freshman out of Lighthouse High School in Indianapolis, 87% free throw shooter. Hit the game-winning 3 with 1 second left in their home opener against Capital. 87% free throw shooter with a rare miss. You can tell that he is in a great deal of discomfort, the way that he's walking around in the free throw circle. Harvey gets ready to come in for Alma. Rosquist and Marley just did, and a missed pair. And you gotta believe that the ankle played a little role in that. I'm surprised. It looks like Kyle Lindsay's gonna try to let Harris work that out through motion, which sometimes is the exact right recipe. The last thing you want to do is sit down after a little twist. But right now, Alma's got Harris down in the middle. If the Scots could get it inside, Marley will try to get there off the dribble. Webster follows him and sends the shot right into the side of the backboard. Adrian still within 2. Rainey for the tie, good. And a timeout on the floor. Adrian will actually be the team to stop it, having tied things up. Just the second time out of the entire game called by either team. 46-46, Alma led by 9 at the half, led by 14 in the first half. But Adrian reminding everybody why they're 13-3 and leading the MIAA at 4-1. And kind of everything that Adrian had struggled with in the first half is coming back. Their overall shooting percentage on the game up to 48.5% at 17 of 35. Alma still shooting over 50% at 19 of 37. But that was a much greater disparity at the half. Adrian in the first half was 9 of 26, so they are, wow, if that's right, they are 8 for 9 from the floor to start the second half, and there's the story of your comeback right there. Turnovers have slowed as well. 13 for the Scots, 11 for Adrian overall, but really both teams have cleaned that up. As you look at the numbers, 2 second half turnovers for Adrian, 1 for Alma. Adrian also shooting 8 for 13 from three-point range, 61% from outside. They are the leading three-point shooting team in the MIAA, but at 38%. So to connect at 61, a key factor in how they've gotten back into this one from the double-digit deficit. All tied up at 46 as we come out of the timeout with 11:51 to play in the second half. Ball knocked out of bounds, back to Alma with 16 on the shot clock. Bradfield will lob it in deep. Alma tries the no-look pass. Bradfield, can he keep the hot shooting up? He can. His first attempt of the second half is 8 minutes coming, but he's still perfect. 4 for 4 from the floor, plus a free throw. 10 points on the game for Dougie Bradfield. Rainey, no-look kick into the corner. Colbert, one dribble, a step, and an open three. Well short, right into the lap, though, of Webster, who short arms the putback. Alma back by 2 and on the move. Scots with about their biggest possible lineup right now, with both Bradfield and Gamble on the floor and a foul underneath. And it goes on Rosquist. That's the third time tonight that Alma has been called for an offensive foul away from the ball. Officials clearly paying attention to what's going on underneath the basket in a fairly physical game. 48-46, Alma by 2. Bird to Webster, who will try from outside. He's actually shooting about 60% from three-point range on limited attempts this year. And instead it's Kalanji from the foul line with 8 on the shot clock to tie things back up at 48. Rosquist inside, fouled, and he'll shoot a pair. Good assertive take from the senior. Foul is on Rainey, his first. Rosquist only 4 attempts from the foul line on the year, but he's made them all. And that one clearly spun right left out of his hand. And the first miss of the season. Scheibert back in place of Gamble. Alma will go a little bit smaller, but not a whole lot, as they bring in Scheibert, the number 4 rebounder in the conference. Rosquist much better on the second try. Splits that pair, gives the Scots a 1-point lead. Approaching the midpoint of the second half. Alma up by 1 inside Webster. Too strong. He's cooled off a little bit after the quick shooting coming out of the locker room. And there's Scheibert in transition. (51-48). Alma on top. Harris for the tie. Only a 24% three-point shooter, but made a game winner earlier this year. That one won't go. Bradfield, quick look inside to Rosquist, going to try to take Rainey, goes to the baseline feed for Harvey, almost, but the Scots keep it alive. Harvey passes up the chance to try it again. Bradfield instead. There's his first miss from the floor tonight. And Adrian with the save. Sam Hargraves claps. He likes what he saw. But Alma does come away empty-handed. 9:30 to play. Hurd down the lane. Off to Rainey. Long two-point try. Short on that one. And a foul. And it's going to go against Adrian. You can see Kyle Lindsay say, what? Did not see the same thing that the officiating crew did. But a hold down underneath, contesting the rebound. We'll turn this one over to the Scots. Third team foul for Adrian in the half. They have not posted on the board. There was a 3 in the number I could see, but I don't know whether it was Webster or whether it was Kalanji. It is Webster with his second. Inside, Bradfield fighting for it, tied up and fouled on the floor. Non-shooting situation. Shot clock resets to 20 off that foul. That's what the Scots will have to work with. 9:04 to play in the ball game. Alma by 3, 51-48. Adrian has come back to tie here in the second half, but they have not led the entire game. Harris will run the floor. Colbert for the tie. This will not fall. Webster a nice rebound. Looking for a kick out. Has to slide it through traffic. And now Stevens goes for the steal. Harris gets there first. Hurd, who's had a terrific game against two Scots defenders, and the ball goes flying out of bounds, and they're going to say that's right off the hands. And everybody hurt on this one. This is not a pretty picture along the baseline. Doug Bradfield grabs at his head. Hurd down as well. Bradfield limping a little bit, favoring that right leg with the knee brace on it. Well, a hard collision. The right side baseline. Leaves multiple players in discomfort. Of course, you immediately worry about that knee of Bradfield's. Missed last season with an ACL injury. And meanwhile, it is Trayshawn Hurd, transferred, not putting any weight on his left leg. As he hops to his feet, a sophomore out of Lafayette, Indiana. And, oh boy, just not what you like to see sometimes. This game can be rough on folks. And both of those players having tremendous evenings, both in double figures. Hurd single-handedly kept Adrian in this game early on. He's got 14, Bradfield has 10. They will both take a seat. But play will go on with some substitutions. Alma up by 3. Stevens works through a switch with 10 on the shot clock. Outside now to Scheibert. Scheibert will work, spin in, get to the rim. Will it roll? No. And Rainey gets up high for the rebound. Bradfield actually has left the Alma bench and gone to the locker room. Hurd stays beside the end of the Adrian bench, so we'll keep an eye on him. If we learn anything, we'll let you know. Cross court, Harris, a 3 with a flying Stevens in his face, and you see the dismay on Stevens' face as the ball banks through for Harris. Shot altered, but the line just right. He gets the favorable roll, and we're tied again at 51. That was a case of no defensive good deed goes unpunished for Ryan Stevens. But we are all square at 51 in what has turned into a very interesting battle. But one, unfortunately, somewhat marred by the matching injuries about a minute ago, with both Bradfield and Trayshawn Hurd coming up in a great deal of difficulty. Looking ahead on the schedules for these teams, Alma will head on the road to Trine on Wednesday, a 7:30 tilt, and then back here next Saturday at home, 3 o'clock against Kalamazoo as they begin their second rotation through the MIAA schedule. Next game for Adrian will be at home on Wednesday against Kalamazoo. Alma were big winners against Kalamazoo last year. Trine faring well. They are amongst the teams in that deadlock at 4-2. Trying to winner 74-57 against Kalamazoo today. Trine's women defeated Alma's as well, 68-37. Adrian's women winners earlier today, 74-65 against Kalamazoo. And here we are tied at 51 with 7:45 to play. Alma with the basketball, but Adrian has erased a 14-point first half deficit. Come back and tied multiple times, have not taken the lead. Every time they've gotten back into a tie, Alma's had an answer. Lammero rifles one all the way over to Holmes. Alma gets it back out, now right back to Holmes, a no look to Scheibert. Holmes with 5 on the shot clock. Alma's got to do something fairly quickly. Lammero elevates, tries, connects. Big fist pump there for Luke Lammero. Always a backbreaker for the defense to be scored on as you hear that buzzer sound. And Alma by 2. Rainey to Webster. Gonna try to get underneath the basket. Alma had hands on the basketball, but hands on Webster as well. And he will finally get a trip to the foul line. If you weren't watching earlier, Justin Webster, 150 foul shot attempts on the season, the second in the country, but has not seen the stripe so far tonight until now. And no good on the first one. And great news for Adrian is Trayshawn Hurd back into the game. Seems to have been able to shake off his side of the injury. Fortunately, no sign of a return from Doug Bradfield. We actually see Alma coach Charlie Goffnett returning from behind the scenes. I assume he was back there with Bradfield. Webster splits the pair. He's got 9. Cuts the deficit in half, 53-52 Alma. Harvey to the baseline. Back out, nothing there. 6:45 to play. And what's turned out to be a great one. Inside to Gamble, and the big man the finish. Gamble hit from the perimeter in the first half, and now a close one. Alma back up by 3. Adrian looks to Webster for the turnaround. Tied up down there, and a foul call. Oh, Alma thought they were going to get out of that with a jump ball. But that will be the 7th Alma team foul, and that will get Webster right back to the stripe. Called against Harvey. Webster about a 71% foul shooter. Now a little confusion. Going to talk with Steve Schwanda at the scorer's table, and I think they've re-added the number of fouls and come up with 6 rather than 7. Scoreboard read 7, but now looking at the scorebook, goes back to 6. So it will be a baseline inbound non-shooting situation. And that will be a 1-and-1. As Scheibert applies the bear hug on Kalanji. So Adrian just trades 170% free throw shooter for the other. And Jeremy Kalanji, 21 points earlier this week and now 18 tonight as he hits the front end to get the Bulldogs within 2. And both shots good. 55-54, Alma by 1. Little over 6 minutes left here at Art Smith Arena. Cross court, Harvey hasn't hit one from outside yet. Got hit a little bit on that one, came up short. Gamble got the rebound. Stevens threw a couple of screens. He'll try his own 3 with a little bit of a cushion. Had the clear shot and took it. And the sophomore from Lowell, an important connection, pushing Alma's lead back out to 4, the biggest it's been in about the last 3 minutes. Hurd, who appears to be moving just fine after the injury. A little ball fake goes underneath Stevens, then feeds it into the corner. Kalanji way off on that one. And Lamoureux the rebound. Scott's outlet. Scheibert loves to run that break, and there's a finish. Could Scheibert break his career high again? Had 20 against Hope on Wednesday to go with 9 rebounds. He's at 18 at the moment. Alma back up 6. Hurd inside Kalanji, backs down Gamble. Gamble just swallows the shot. What a play by Kevin Gamble, who just relieved Jeremy Kalanji of possession of that ball. Cross court, Lamoureux wide open, long on that one. Scott's looked for the exclamation point early in the shot clock, could not get it. And Adrian will try to chip back away, but they'll do so after a timeout from Kyle Lindsay. 60-54 now. Scheibert with 18 for Alma, Kalanji with 19 for Adrian. Kalanji 6 of 12 from the floor and 5 of 5 at the line. Meanwhile, Scheibert 8 of 15 himself from the line. Continues to be a good shooting night for Alma from the floor. 25 of 48, 52%. That's right around the numbers that Alma shot from the floor back 2 years ago when they went to the Elite Eight. Obviously, it's a difficult clip to maintain. Alma only 7 of 22 on the outside. Remember, they were a top 10 team in three-point percentage last year. Have fallen off a bit in that department this season. Adrian on the night, 19 of 47, shooting 9 of 19 from outside. That's a bit of a fall off from the numbers that they were shooting early in the half, when at one point they were 8 of 13 from 3. Alma led this game 30-16 was their biggest edge, 33-24 at the half. It'll be Stevens, Scheibert, Lamoureux, Gamble, and Harvey for Alma. Harris, Colbert, Kalanji, Webster, and Hurd, the starting 5 out there for Adrian. Adrian with only 3 points off the bench in this game, and that is not uncommon for them. It is these 5 out on the floor who do most of their scoring. Misfire from Colbert with a hand in his face. And Alma again a chance to extend. Could it be Stevens the second time? Not this time. Scheibert, a great effort at the rebound, but it goes off his fingertips to Hurd. Colbert waits. Harris wanted the kick into the corner, but Harvey was there to take it away. Now Colbert to Webster. They'll enter it again at the foul line. And again, great defense from Gamble. If Alma holds on to win this game, it will be their defensive effort against Justin Webster that has won it. But a long ways to go with just a 6-point edge. What a lob inside from Stevens. And that may be the assist that gets him to 100. No, pardon me, Stevens was already there. We missed it along the way. But that's assist number 101 if it's given to him on that one. And Kevin Gamble with 7. Webster, no good, foul underneath. A little bit of a late whistle on that one. Alma fans dismayed. It's on Gamble. Our live stats have Ryan Stevens at 101 assists on the season, so we're confident it's at least 100 at this point. These are not completely official. As Webster makes the first freebie. With that feat, Stevens only the 10th player in Scott's history to dish out 100 in a season. Webster to 11, the lead back to 6 as he makes both. Stevens off to Scheibert, and now Lamoureux. 3:20 to play in this one. Scott's by 6, trying to hold on and upset the MIAA leaders here at the Art Smith Arena. And a whistle away from the ball, Adrian foul. It's Webster with his third, and the patience that time from Stevens waiting for something to develop forced Webster into a hold. That's the 6th Adrian team foul. Alma already in the bonus with 8. .15 on the partially reset shot clock. Inside, Stevens' hook shot is good. A crucial little baby hook. And 9 for Stevens to go with the 7 assists and 3 rebounds. 64-56. Adrian has tied this game up multiple times, but never taken the lead. What a reverse from Webster. Webster with what feels like a quiet game, still 7 below his season average, but most of those coming, 11 of them in the second half of his 13. 64-58. Scots continue to need to drain clock and get points on every possession, lest this become very uncomfortable in the closing minutes. 8 on the shot clock. Harvey just lost the handle on it, trying to get the quick trigger on a 3. Holmes will come back in. Alma turns it over with 2:22 to play. It's the 15th Alma turnover of the night, but they had 12 in the first half, so much better here in the second half. Sam Hargraves wants to chat. So 2:22 to play, Alma by 6. Adrian will have the ball with the length of the floor to go. Alma certainly cannot afford any kind of a lull, unless they find themselves in a similar situation to the end game against Olivet a week ago. Alma split a pair of free throws with 32 seconds to go in that one. Olivet, rather than looking for a quick shot to potentially have the ability to extend the game on a miss, elected to drain the clock all the way. Tracy Edmond then drove down the right side of the lane and hit about a 6-foot floater with 4 seconds to go for a 1-point lead. Alma called timeout, got it back, got a good look at a 3 for Marley, but it kicked away. Alma actually had a putback that went, but it was well after the buzzer, and it ended up as an 89-88 Olivet victory. Alma would very much like to avoid getting into even a foul shooting contest here at the end. It would be a test of the improved Alma foul shooting. Alma up to just under 67% from the foul line on the year. Actually, team average dwindled below 60% briefly, so it has improved. But at a 6-point advantage right now, one would certainly believe this game is going to have some trips to the free throw line before it's over. Alma will just set up the 2-3 zone, no attempt to press. Now Lamoureux will come up to, well, Bird's going to let her trickle all the way, finally scoop it up. I think you save about 2 seconds worth of time by actually doing that, but whatever works. Quick 3-point trigger, no good. Webster loses the rebound and Scheibert runs it down. That's the 10th rebound for Kevin Scheibert of the night, an 18-10 double-double. And that might be the most important of all 10. Alma, quick cut from Stevens, counted and the foul! Just when you're thinking that Alma will want to run clock, they sprint Stevens on a cut, and he makes a great catch, finish, and 1. An 8-point edge that Stevens will try to push to 9. 20 of 31 from the foul line coming in tonight. This is his first trip there, and he's got it. Stevens now with 12, and the lead is 9. Crunch time now for Adrian. Now they have to keep an eye on the clock and not waste. Really can't afford to set up a lengthy possession. 1:50 to play. Deep 3 from Hurd. Off to the right. Who will get there first? Alma comes flying through. Maybe too many Scots' hands. And Stevens and Scheibert both go for it. Knock it away out of bounds. Minute and 46. As Adrian gets it in, Harris pumps a quick 3, drives, dishes off to Webster through traffic, and the layup won't fall. Webster ends up on his back. And Alma now a chance to try to get back to a double-digit advantage. The clock will run under 1:30 right about now. 19 on the shot clock as Alma clearly going to be deliberate this time. You see Stevens look to the far end to check the shot clock. Shot clock's, of course, right on top of the basket for the players to see. Pass way too strong, though, and turned over. I'm not sure who that was intended for. Both Scheibert and Lamoureux look as if to say, was that for me? So Alma bleeds some time, but comes away empty-handed. Certainly not out of the woods yet, but up by 9. Colbert with it, down to 106. Webster, a couple of big steps, floater down the lane, got it. And a quick timeout from the Adrian bench, 67-60 with 104. I think one of the questions that Adrian has to answer is when do they want to start fouling? And it may be time. Okay, an update from the Scots bench. We see Doug Bradfield return with a walking boot on his right foot. The knee brace is off. Obviously, he is done for the day. But on some level, that would suggest either an ankle or foot injury. I don't know whether that's good news or bad news if you're Doug Bradfield, but certainly in light of the fact that everybody here's immediate concern was that surgically repaired right knee. Good to see Doug back out onto the bench at least. He had a tremendous game going with 10 points. Full court pressure shown from Adrian. I think if you're Adrian, you probably foul quickly because otherwise you would be at best down by 7 with only about 40 seconds to go if the Scots are allowed to drain the shot clock. There will be initial pressure to try to force a turnover from Adrian. They knock it out of bounds. Shot clock down to 21, game clock 54. Holmes will inbound. Gives it to Gamble. A cut from Scheibert. Alma's going to hustle. Oh, dear. Doesn't go in. The tip almost fell as well. But now quickly Adrian comes back. Kalanji for 3, and down it goes, and the lead is 4. So the Scots get aggressive again. Go early in the shot clock. Almost got the cut like they had with the and one from Stevens before. This one won't go, nor does the tip. And Adrian responds with an immediate triple from Kalanji, who now has 22. And just like that, the 7-point lead goes down to 4. And still over 40 seconds left. So the nightmare scenario for the Scots. And now, with 40 seconds, Adrian can't afford to allow the, or 45.2 exactly. Adrian can't just D up, I don't believe, for the entirety of the shot clock, but they can probably invest 10 seconds if they'd like in trying to force a Scots turnover before they send Alma to the line. We'll see what the strategy is. Holmes struggling to get it in. Finds Lamoureux. No foul yet. Two-man pressure. Holmes will dribble it into the front court. Hurd will apply. They'll try to trap Stevens at half court. He throws over the top to Scheibert. Clock down to 34. Cross court Lamoureux, and there's the foul. So just about as we expected. 13 seconds run off the clock. And Luke Lamoureux, the Scots get exactly what they're looking for. Get their best foul shooter to the line. Lamoureux, the only player on this Alma team shooting over 70% on the year. Although Scheibert 13 of 14 in his last 2 games. Lamoureux wastes no time. It's a 1-and-1 situation, but the front end goes. Quick, confident delivery, and Alma up by 5. Scots will leave just Scheibert down to rebound. Gets his shoelace fixed. Holmes going to come into the front court as long with Stevens, but behind the shooter, and a couple of Luke Lamoureux, who has double digits with 10. Scots by 6, 32 seconds to play. Hurd. Harris is just going to try from the moon, and he's got it! Colbert, pardon me, that wasn't Harris, that was Colbert. And a shot from 25 feet from St. Colbert, right in the middle of the basket. Colbert's favorite basketball player is Steph Curry. Curry's got that range, and Colbert does too. Had made 34 three-pointers coming in. 9 threes combined in 2 MIAA games against Trine and Hope. Had a 17-point night against Trine, but that one right there, keeping his team alive and increasing the blood pressure of every Scots fan in this building. feel bad that I cheated him out of that call by using Harris's name. Harris would like to take credit for it, but that was Sam Colbert with the rocket. 69-66. Alma with the ball. Unfortunately, I didn't get a look at the exact amount of time on the clock. And the clock disappears as it switches to a timeout clock during these pauses. It is around 20 seconds, but we need to check the exact number. But just when you think the seesaw is tipped one direction, back it comes. 26.0, the exact time on the clock after the Colbert triple. More full court pressure. Shot clock is off, and Alma's going to call a timeout as Holmes can't find anybody. Adrian is out of timeouts now. Alma still has 3 remaining. And again, if you're Adrian, with 26 seconds, you can play defense for a few seconds, but not many. In a 3-point game, Alma in a position that anything made at the foul line turns it into a 2-possession game. Even if the Scots didn't get points, it would then be a scenario where Alma could think about fouling, sending Adrian to the line. There is one more 1-and-1 to go for both teams. Both teams sitting on 8 fouls at the moment. Alma will surely try to get the ball into the hands of Lamoureux if they can, or Scheibert, who, as we said, while shooting just under 70% from the line on the year, is 13 of his last 14 over the last 2 games. Stevens just behind him in the shooting numbers from the stripe. Alma has been good at the line tonight, 6 of 7 so far. Alma will go with the same alignment. Holmes to inbound along the baseline. Lamoureux, Stevens, Scheibert, and Gamble are the 5. Starting 5 out there for Adrian. And Holmes will look for somebody to get it into. Bounce pass to Scheibert, couple of dribbles. Now he'll lob it over the top, let Stevens run it down. Stevens going to try to go all the way, and he's got the finish with a big fist pump, count it, and the foul. Alma 3 times has gotten aggressive in those situations, and twice they've come away with Ryan Stevens layups and a foul. And now Alma by 5 with just under 21 seconds to go. What a job by Scheibert to make the initial catch on the inbounds and then get the pass over the top where Stevens could run it down. He does not get the foul shot, but Alma by 5. Adrian's got to really hustle. Kalanji, he wants another 3. This one finally won't go. Colbert going to try to reset, off balance, tries. This off to the left, clock down to 10, and Gamble gets the board and is fouled, and the Scots exhale a little bit. Still 9 seconds on the clock, but Alma by 5. And Adrian may have run out of miracle 3-pointers. Kalanji had the first, Colbert had the second. Crowd with a loud Scots chant. Adrian quickly assembled for a semi-timeout. It is a 2-shot foul for Gamble, the 10th Adrian team foul. Gamble 63.5% on the season. He's got that one. Alma looking to knock off the conference leaders, get a win here at home, even their conference record at 3-3, and Gamble has them on the precipice, up by 7 with 9 seconds to go. Adrian will trigger, well, will they? There it is, Kalanji for 3, no good. Scheibert wants one more rebound, his 12th, and the Scots have got the win, 73-66. Victory belongs to Sam Hargraves. They have knocked off the MIAA leaders and done it in dramatic fashion. It was not easy. Adrian erasing the 14-point halftime deficit, first half deficit, and comes back to tie the game multiple times in the second half, but never took the lead. I think that, as much as anything, is the story of the game for the Alma Scots, that every time Adrian tied it up, which I can think of at least 3, Alma did not blink. They had an answer, And then finally in the end, the aggression. This team did not sit back and wilt. They did not just try to drain the clock and bleed it down. They got guys to the basket, got 2 layups and fouls from Stevens. Well done. Obviously some concern about the ankle of Doug Bradfield, but that ankle feels better for Bradfield right now. You can tell that, the smile on his face. There is nothing like a W on the scoreboard to give you a little adrenaline boost. The Scots will have to get him to the training room and get some ice, but they're going to get to do it with a win that puts the MIAA into a wide open situation. 4 teams tied at 5-2 and Alma right behind, at 4-2 and Alma right behind at 3-3. Final scoring numbers here. Jeremy Kalanji leads the way for everybody. 22 points for Adrian. Justin Webster had 15. Trayshawn Hurd 14. Sam Colbert 9, including the moon rocket 3-pointer that cut the lead to 3 late. 3 from Jordan Harris, 3 from Keon Rainey. Over for Alma. What a game again for Kevin Scheibert. He doesn't set a career high in points. 18 points, 12 rebounds. Need to double check on that one. That might be a career high. Ryan Stevens, 14 points and 7 assists to go to 101 on the season. 10 points for Luke Lamoureux, 10 for Doug Bradfield before the injury. Holmes with 9, Gamble with 9, including the final free throws. Rosquist with 3. Scots overall shoot 29 of 55, 52.5%. Hold Adrian to 23 of 58, and 8 of 10 from the free throw line from the Scots, getting it done when it counts. That will do it for us here on elmascots.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our next broadcast will be next Saturday against Kalamazoo. 3 o'clock start in that one. Tune in for that. Meantime, on Wednesday, keep tabs on the Scots as they head down to Angola, Indiana to take on the Trine Thunder. Try to finish the first run through the MIAA on the plus side, trying one of those teams in the top 4, in that 4-way tie right now. So an Alma win on the road would put them right in position for an MIAA tournament win. Thank you to everybody helping put this together on elmascots.com, most notably Skylar Goodman pushing all the buttons. Thank you for tuning in with us here on a Saturday night. Have a great rest of the weekend. Congratulations to the Scots on the victory over the MIAA leaders, beating Adrian tonight 73-66.